Lisa Left Eye Lopes was a cultural powerhouse whose fearless creativity and magnetic energy made TLC a global phenomenon. Her sharp rap verses in anthems like Waterfalls and No Scrubs blended hip-hop, R&B, and bold social messages, captivating millions and reshaping the 90s music landscape. With her signature style, condom-adorned goggles, neon outfits, and a black stripe under her left eye, she championed safe sex and female empowerment, paving the way for women in hip-hop. Beyond music, Lisa's unapologetic spirit shone through personal challenges, leaving a lasting impact with her solo work, Supernova, and mentorship of young artists. Though her life ended tragically in 2002, her legacy thrives through the Lisa Lopes Foundation, Unite Studios, and the enduring influence of her art. Dive into the story of how Lisa's innovative vision, Philadelphia-rooted grit, and vibrant persona continue to inspire new generations, proving her belief that energy never dies, it only transforms. Lisa Nicole Lopes was born on May 27, 1971, in a modest row house in North Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, a city whose gritty resilience and vibrant cultural pulse would shape her early years. Her father, Ronald Lopes Sr., was a staff sergeant in the U.S. Army, a man whose worldview was forged in the crucible of military discipline. The Lopes household ran like a well-oiled machine. Wake-up calls were at dawn, beds were made with hospital corners, and every chore was a mission to be completed with precision. Ronald believed that structure was the foundation of success, and he instilled this ethos in his children with a blend of love and unrelenting expectation. For young Lisa, his rules were both a scaffold and a cage, fostering her drive while igniting a spark of rebellion that would burn brightly throughout her life. Her mother, Wanda Coleman Lopes, was the family's emotional anchor, a seamstress whose nimble fingers stitched clothing and upholstery to supplement Ronald's military pay. The rhythmic hum of Wanda's sewing machine filled the house, blending with the gospel hymns sung by Lisa's grandmother, who presided over the kitchen with a quiet, spiritual grace. These sounds, gospel melodies, the mechanical whir of the sewing needle, and Ronald's sharp commands wove themselves into Lisa's earliest memories, forming the sonic tapestry of her childhood. The Lopes home was a place of contrasts. Discipline clashed with creativity, and Lisa, even as a toddler, seemed to thrive in the tension between the two. At 5 years old, Lisa discovered a plastic toy piano at a church bazaar, its keys slightly sticky from years of use. She claimed it as her own, balancing it on her spindly knees and teaching herself to pluck out melodies she'd heard at Sunday services. Her father, ever watchful, saw her potential and encouraged her to practice, though his encouragement came with a stern directive to get it right or don't bother. Lisa's younger siblings, Ronald Jr., nicknamed Raindrop, and Raina Raindrop, were soon drawn into her orbit. She dubbed them the Lopes Kids, a pint-sized performance troupe that debuted at family reunions, church picnics, and neighborhood talent shows. Lisa, the undeniable ringleader, choreographed their dance moves, assigned harmonies, and directed their performances with the confidence of a seasoned impresario. The applause from aunts, uncles, and congregants was her first taste of stardom, and she studied it like a scientist, noting which gestures sparked laughter and which notes drew gasps. Even at 5, she was mapping the alchemy of performance. Philadelphia in the late 1970s was a city of raw energy, its streets alive with the sounds of Philly soul, disco, and the nascent beats of hip-hop. Block parties pulsed with break dancers spinning on cardboard and DJs scratching vinyl under flickering streetlights. Lisa, barely tall enough to see over the crowds, soaked it all in, her imagination a sponge for the city's sonic and cultural currents. She'd sneak into her older cousins' rooms to listen to their records, Curtis Mayfield's soulful croon, Grandmaster Flash's turntable wizardry, and the storytelling bravado of early rap. These sounds weren't just music, they were a language of possibility, a way to transcend the confines of her father's rules and the economic struggles of North Philly. By her early teens, Lisa's world was expanding, but so were the pressures she faced. Her father's military precision clashed with her growing need for self-expression, and their arguments became a fixture of the household. Wanda, caught in the middle, tried to mediate, but Lisa's spirit was too restless to be contained. At 13, she began sneaking out to local open mic nights, where she'd watch aspiring MCs trade rhymes and dream of holding the mic herself. In 1989, at 14, a single song changed everything. Queen Latifah's Ladies First, a fierce anthem of black female empowerment, blasted through the speakers of her grandmother's row house. Latifah's commanding flow and unapologetic confidence were a revelation to Lisa, proof that women could not only participate in hip-hop, but dominate it. She grabbed a spiral notebook, scribbled her first rap verses, and drew a single, oversized I in the margins, a symbol that felt like a signature, a way to claim her place in the world. The left eye persona was born, though it would be years before it took center stage. Adolescence also brought Lisa's first encounters with alcohol, a discovery that would cast a long shadow. At a house party in 1985, she took a sip of peach schnapps, the sweet warmth spreading through her chest like a secret. It was a fleeting escape from the weight of her father's expectations and the uncertainty of her ambitions. The sensation was thrilling, but it planted the seeds of a dependency that would challenge her creative fire in the years to come. For now, it was just a teenage rebellion, a way to test boundaries in a life defined by them. By 1990, Lisa was 19, a young woman with a restless spirit and a burning desire to outgrow Philadelphia's limits. Atlanta, Georgia, was emerging as a mecca for black music, a city where New Jack Swing's glossy grooves collided with the raw, bass-heavy pulse of Southern hip-hop. Its studios were producing hits for artists like Bobby Brown and Belle Biv DeVoe, and its open mic scenes buzzed with talent hungry for a break. To Lisa, Atlanta was a place where dreams could be forged in real time, where a bold voice and a few $100s could buy a shot at immortality. She sold her prized Yamaha keyboard, a hard-won upgrade from her childhood toy, for $750. With the cash stuffed in a worn backpack, she boarded a Greyhound bus, leaving behind her family, her city, and the only life she'd ever known. Atlanta was a sensory overload, humid, vibrant, and teeming with possibility. Lisa rented a cheap room in a boarding house and began scouring local newspapers for opportunities. She found an ad placed by Crystal Jones, a singer seeking members for a funky female trio. The audition was held in a community center with peeling paint and a faulty sound system, but Lisa walked in like she was headlining Madison Square Garden. Her freestyle was a masterclass in charisma, clever wordplay, a playful Philly twang, and an energy that seemed to electrify the room. Crystal, who'd envisioned herself as the group's leader, later admitted she felt her own role waver under Lisa's intensity. Tion Watkins, another auditionee, brought a quiet strength and a soulful voice that complemented Lisa's fire. The three began rehearsing in a damp basement studio, their harmonies mingling with the sound of water dripping onto Lisa's battered Casio keyboard. During one session, someone pointed out that their initials, Tien, Lisa, Crystal, spelled TLC. Lisa seized on the name, already imagining it in neon lights above a marquee. The trio's raw potential caught the eye of Perry Pebbles Reed, a singer-turned-manager married to LaFace Records co-founder Antonio Lay Reed. Pebbles saw TLC as a potential powerhouse, but insisted on a lineup change to sharpen their edge. Crystal was replaced by Rosonda Thomas, a dancer with a velvety voice and a knack for intricate harmonies. Tion adopted the nickname T-Boz, Rosonda became Chili, and Lisa began crafting the persona that would define her. She'd recently received a compliment from New Edition's Michael Bivins about her striking left eye, and she leaned into it with theatrical flair. She painted a black stripe under her left eye, pierced her eyebrow for a dangling earring, and began experimenting with bold, futuristic outfits. Her most iconic touch was a condom threaded over the right lens of a pair of oversized kaleidoscope-shaped goggles, a provocative nod to safe sex that doubled as a visual manifesto. Dressed in baggy overalls, neon crop tops, and a mischievous grin, Lisa became Left Eye, a living embodiment of hip-hop attitude, social activism, and candy-colored rebellion. In February 1992, TLC released their debut album, Oh, on the TLC tip through Layface Records. The album was a bold fusion of hip-hop, R&B, and pop, its playful energy and cheeky lyrics capturing the zeitgeist of the early 90s. Tracks like Ain't Too Proud to Beg, Baby, 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 and What About Your Friends became top 10 hits, their infectious hooks and relatable themes resonating with a generation of young listeners. Lisa's rap verses were a highlight, her high-pitched delivery cutting through the mix with precision and swagger. She rapped about self-respect, street smarts, and dodging scrubs with a wit that felt both universal and deeply personal. The group's visual style, baggy clothes, bright colors, and Lisa's condom-adorned goggles made them instant icons on MTV, where their videos played in heavy rotation. TLC's live performances were electric, their choreography a blend of street dance grit and synchronized polish. They toured relentlessly, crisscrossing the country in a tour bus that became a rolling microcosm of their dynamic. Laughter, arguments, and late-night freestyle battles. Lisa, ever the instigator, would challenge T-Boz and Chili to rap battles over vending machine snacks. Her competitive streak matched only by her loyalty to her sisters. Offstage, however, her personal struggles were beginning to surface. Her alcohol consumption, once confined to parties, started to creep into her daily routine, hidden in soda bottles backstage or sipped from hotel minibars. She was still functional, still dazzling, but the cracks were forming. In 1993, Lisa's personal life took a dramatic turn when she met Andre Rison, an NFL wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. Rison was a superstar in his own right, with a megawatt smile and a reputation for flashy style. Their chemistry was instantaneous, a collision of two larger-than-life personalities. Their relationship was a whirlwind of passion and volatility. They'd make out at nightclubs, argue in public, and reconcile with extravagant gestures, only to repeat the cycle. Paparazzi followed their every move, their romance fodder for tabloids hungry for drama. In September 1993, their volatility escalated when Lisa filed assault charges against Rison after a heated altercation at his Atlanta mansion. The charges were later dropped, but the incident left a scar, both on their relationship and on Lisa's public image. On June 9, 1994, Lisa's relationship with Rison reached a breaking point. After discovering a pair of women's sneakers in his mansion, proof she believed of infidelity, she spiraled into a mix of heartbreak and rage. In a moment of impulsivity, she gathered dozens of Rison's Nike sneakers, piled them in a fiberglass bathtub, and doused them with lighter fluid. The flames she ignited spread faster than she'd anticipated, leaping from the tub to the walls and engulfing the multi-million-dollar mansion in a matter of minutes. Firefighters arrived to find the property reduced to a smoldering ruin, its fiberglass accents melted into surreal shapes. Lisa was arrested and charged with first-degree arson. Her mugshots splashed across newspapers and TV screens. In court, Lisa described the fire as an accident, a desperate act of emotional release that spiraled out of control. She spoke of her pain, her sense of betrayal, and her regret, her voice steady but her eyes betraying the weight of the moment. The judge sentenced her to 5 years probation, a $10,000 fine, and mandatory enrollment in a rehabilitation program for alcohol dependency. The media, eager for a sensational headline, dubbed her Crazy Sexy Flames, a reductive label that ignored the complexity of her struggle. TLC's label called an emergency meeting to manage the PR fallout, but Lisa, ever defiant, caught a taxi to the studio the next day. "The music doesn't stop," she told her manager, her jaw set. Deadlines, she insisted, didn't care about felonies. While Lisa completed her court-ordered rehab, T-Boz and Chili began recording TLC's second album, Crazy Sexy Cool. Lisa, confined to a treatment facility, channeled her energy into writing, filling legal pads with lyrics that grappled with love, betrayal, and redemption. Her time in rehab was grueling. Group therapy sessions, strict schedules, and the constant temptation to numb her pain, but it also sharpened her focus. When she emerged, she was leaner, her eyes clearer, her rhymes more potent than ever. She rejoined her bandmates in the studio, her presence electrifying the sessions. Released in November 1994, Crazy Sexy Cool was a game changer, a sultry blend of R&B, hip-hop, and soul that redefined the genre. Its tracks tackled mature themes, infidelity, sensuality, and social issues, with a candor that felt revolutionary. Singles like Creep, Red Light Special, and Waterfalls dominated radio and MTV, their lush production and raw honesty striking a chord with listeners worldwide. Waterfalls, in particular, became a cultural phenomenon, its cautionary tale about HIV/AIDS, poverty, and chasing fleeting dreams delivered with a melody that was both haunting and hopeful. Lisa's rap bridge on the song, with its call to believe in yourself and pursue dreams and aspirations, became a global mantra, quoted in schools, churches, and community centers. Crazy Sexy Cool sold 11 million copies in the US and 23 million worldwide, making TLC the best-selling female group of all time at that point. They won 2 Grammys, Best R&B Album and Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group for Creep, and solidified their status as global icons. Lisa's probation papers sat next to the awards on her mantle, a stark reminder of the duality she carried: a superstar navigating fame and a woman wrestling with her demons. By 1997, TLC was preparing their third album, Fan Mail, a futuristic ode to the internet age with electronic bleeps, robotic interludes, and polished R&B hooks. The recording process, however, was marked by creative friction. Lisa, whose vision was increasingly cosmic and experimental, pushed for sprawling rap verses and unconventional sounds, while T-Boz and Chili favored radio-friendly melodies. The tension came to a head when Lisa issued a public challenge in a 1998 interview with Vibe magazine. Each member should release a solo album simultaneously, letting fans decide whose artistry reigned supreme. T-Boz and Chili bristled, calling the idea selfish and divisive, but the conflict fueled their work. The studio became a battleground of ideas, each member pushing the others to elevate their craft. Released in February 1999, Fan Mail was a triumph, blending cyber R&B with pop sensibilities. Hits like No Scrubs and Unpretty became anthems, their messages of self-respect and vulnerability resonating deeply. Lisa's robotic spoken word interludes inspired by sci-fi films added a futuristic edge, while her rap verses showcased her lyrical dexterity. The album sold 14 million copies worldwide and earned TLC 2 more Grammys, cementing their legacy. On paper, TLC was unstoppable. In reality, Lisa was restless, her ambition stretching beyond the group's framework. Lisa's desire for creative autonomy led her to begin work on her solo album Supernova in 1999. She recorded in studios across Los Angeles, Miami, and Honduras, layering ancestral drums, futuristic synths, and deeply personal lyrics. The track A New Star is Born, a tribute to her late father, was a raw elegy that left studio engineers wiping tears behind their consoles. Other songs, like The Block Party, pulsed with infectious energy, blending hip-hop bravado with global rhythms. Lisa's vision was expansive, her music a kaleidoscope of influences that defied easy categorization. But label politics at Arista Records derailed the project. Supernova was released only overseas in 2001, leaving U.S. fans frustrated. Lisa, never one about a corporate gatekeeping, leaked the album online, a bold move in the pre-Napster era that sent MP3s spreading like wildfire. She then adopted the alias INA, New Identity Not Applicable, signed with Suge Knight's controversial Death Row Records, and began plotting a follow-up album that promised to push boundaries even further. Rumors swirled of collaborations with David Bowie, Missy Elliott, and Ray J, but Lisa kept her plans locked in a crystal-studded diary, sharing only cryptic hints with her inner circle. "It's gonna be a revolution," she told a friend, her eyes gleaming. Lisa's ambitions extended far beyond music. Through her company, Left Eye Productions, she mentored young artists, guiding the girl group Black from mall food court singers to platinum success with hits like 808. She auditioned a fledgling act called Egypt, telling them their harmonies felt like silk fighting leather, a phrase that captured her knack for vivid imagery. She hosted MTV's talent show The Cut in 1998, her quick wit and infectious energy stealing the spotlight between contestant performances. In 2000, she competed on a celebrity edition of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, winning $32,000 and donating every cent to children's charities. Endorsement offers from Gap, Pepsi, and others poured in, but Lisa accepted only those that aligned with her values. "If it's not colorful, why bother?" she'd joke, her wardrobe a testament to her vibrant aesthetic. In September 2000, Lisa's unpredictable streak resurfaced when she vanished for several days, missing a family reunion and a Las Vegas press conference. Her disappearance sparked rumors of relapse, kidnapping, or a secret marriage. She reappeared at an Atlanta airport wearing oversized sunglasses and a sly smile, explaining she'd been off-grid, meditating in solitude to find a vibration nobody could jam. Her inner circle sighed with relief, accustomed to her enigmatic rhythms. Honduras was Lisa's refuge, a place where she felt spiritually grounded. She visited the country frequently, drawn to its lush jungles, hot springs, and sense of timelessness. In April 2002, she was there filming a documentary about her upcoming album, her handheld camcorder capturing every moment, meditation sessions by candlelight, music video storyboards sketched in notebooks, and road trips along dusty highways. On April 25th, she was a passenger in a Mitsubishi Montero, speeding through a rural area. The driver swerved to avoid an oncoming truck, causing the SUV to flip, crash into trees, and tumble into a ditch. Lisa, who wasn't wearing a seatbelt, was ejected from the vehicle. Rescuers found her yards away, her life extinguished by a fatal skull fracture. She was 30 years old. The other passengers survived, their injuries minor by comparison. The camcorder recovered from the wreckage captured the crash in haunting fragments, a blur of motion, a scream, and then silence. The footage, later reviewed by her family, was a stark reminder of life's fragility, but it also preserved Lisa's final days, her laughter, her vision, her unyielding spirit. Lisa's death on April 25, 2002, sent shockwaves through the music world. On May 2nd, thousands gathered at New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Lithonia, Georgia, for her funeral. Fans clutched sunflowers, her favorite flower, and handwritten lyrics, their grief mingling with the swell of a choir. Her silver casket was etched with her Waterfalls verse about dreams and self-belief, a fitting tribute to her message. Producer Jermaine Dupri delivered a eulogy, calling her a real rock star. You learn to expect the unexpected. Radio stations played TLC hits on loop, and MTV aired clips from her unfinished Honduras documentary, showing her laughing under a starlit sky. The Lopes family channeled Lisa's mantra, "Energy never dies, it only transforms," into the Lisa Lopes Foundation, which funds orphanages in Honduras and educational programs in the U.S. They established Camp YAC, Youth AIDS Coalition, and Creative Castle, youth centers Lisa had envisioned as safe spaces for creativity and learning. The Left Eye Music Fest, launched in 2012, fills Decatur, Georgia, each year with indie bands and TLC deep cuts, a celebration of her music and her commitment to new talent. Posthumous releases including I Legacy 2009, Forever. The EP and the Unearthed Fantasies collaboration on SoundCloud keep her voice alive, time-capsuled like a star's light reaching Earth years after its source has faded. In 2008, UNI Studios, Lisa's dream of an affordable recording space for aspiring artists, opened its doors in Atlanta. New rappers and singers record under a mural of her iconic black-striped eye, using the same Neumann microphone she once did, hoping to capture a fraction of her magic. On TikTok, Gen Z fans duet her early freestyles. Unaware they were recorded on a creaky Philly porch, scholars analyze Waterfalls for its public health advocacy, noting how Lisa wrapped urgent messages in pop's sugarcoat. Fashion historians credit her with pioneering bold accessories, condom lenses, face stripes that prefigured Y2K's ironic aesthetic. Mental health advocates point to her openness about her struggles, including the hate and love scars she bore, as a radical act of vulnerability in an era when such candor was rare. Lisa's life was a multi-syllabic rap verse, complex, vibrant, and unapologetic. She turned hardship into art, rebellion into revolution, and dreams into anthems that still echo across generations. Her story is a reminder that legacies are built not on perfection, but on the courage to keep creating, to keep spinning the melody through life's skips and scratches. Every karaoke rendition of Waterfalls, every face stripe inked by a new rapper, every verse scribbled in a teenager's diary carries her energy forward. Lisa Left Eye. Lopes didn't just chase dreams, she set them ablaze, wrapped them in neon, and sent them soaring into eternity. The track is still playing, its bass shaking the walls like it's June 1994, but with all the color and none of the smoke. Turn it up.